What is going on, guys? DBG here, and in this video we have got our first NBA 2K20 upgrades prediction. These are guys who I think are going to have a raise in overall, and I need to say this before we get onto these predictions. This is under the assumption that 2K are doing the exact same thing as they did last year, which means that there's going to be a couple of amethysts, a couple of rubies, sapphires, and that they don't go back to the 2K17 and 18 tactic of everyone at sapphire or lower. So that's just kind of the assumption, and these are players I think are going to go up based on that rating system, which until we hear different, we have to assume it's the same. But also, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to 100,000 subscribers, and we're about to hit 97,000, which is nuts. It's looking like we're going to hit it in the next 10 days. But yes, if you guys are new to the channel, like my team content, subscribe. But anyway, now let's get on to the players. So we're going to start off with the most obvious one, and that is Rudy Gobert. So basically, he started off as a 67 overall, which meant that he was supposedly one of the worst players in the NBA, according to 2K20 MyTEAM. And Karooks ended up playing 63 games for the Brooklyn Nets. He started 46 of them, averaging 8.5 points per game, averaged 6.5 points per game in the playoffs, and also was a starter. So a guy who was a starter on a playoffs team was considered to be one of the weakest players in the NBA coming into NBA 2K19. So my prediction for Karooks is that he goes up from a 67 overall, because he's obviously, like, if he was American, he'd be probably seen as honestly a much crazier thing, being a solid contributor on a playoffs team as a rookie. But I can't see him being higher than a silver. I think would personally put him as maybe a 76 rated gold. However, I think he's going to be a 75 rated silver. That is my prediction for him. Next up, we have got another really obvious one, and it's Derrick White. So Derrick White is guaranteed to be upgraded anyway. He was a 69 overall, and this season he actually started 55 games for the San Antonio Spurs, who were a solid playoff team, took the Denver Nuggets to 7 games. He averaged 9.9 points per game, which is really solid. And in the playoffs, he was even better. He averaged 15.1 points per game through the 7-game series against the Denver Nuggets, and I can see him going up from a 69 overall to a 78 overall gold, if not higher. I have a feeling that Derrick White is going to be the biggest upgrade of any player this year, from bronze to gold, and I wouldn't be that shocked to see him at 79 overall, and I also wouldn't be the most surprised to see him as an emerald, especially because of how well he played in the playoffs. And I can guarantee you that he is a better player than some guys that 2K are going to make emeralds. But I just don't see him getting that much of an upgrade. So I think that a 79 overall is a fair, or 78 overall, sorry, is a fair rating for him. That's the rating I think the 2K are going to give him. Next, we have got Jarrett Allen. So Jarrett Allen last year was a 75 overall silver starting off. And this year, obviously, he had a crazy year. He didn't improve too much in terms of like his stats. He did go from like 8.2 to 10.9 points per game. Everything improved slightly, but that's always going to happen rookie to sophomore year. However, one of the major things with Jarrett Allen was just the highlight plays. He blocked some amount of superstars, and he just became almost a household name. Was a starter, one of the best players on a playoff team, and without doubt is getting an upgrade. While I don't know, one of the weird things is that 2K base a lot of things on hype, so I'm going to be a little bit controversial in this one, and I think he's going to go up from a 75 overall silver to an 80 overall emerald. Yes, I think he's going to get an 80 overall emerald. Next up, we've got Danilo Gallinari, who started off as a 77 overall last year. So Gallinari's always been a really solid player in the NBA. He was part of the Carmelo Anthony trade. He averaged 16.2 points per game for the Denver Nuggets when they were good in 2013. And he also has been a solid player even since joining Los Angeles Clippers, when he's been on the court, that is. This year has been the healthiest year he's had since the 12-13 season, where he was seen as a future all-star for the Nuggets. This year he averaged 19.8 points per game for the LA Clippers, who ended up making the playoffs, and they also were probably the closest team to beating the Golden State Warriors. In the playoffs, he averaged 19.8 points per game, which is a lot higher than he did the last time he was in the playoffs with the Nuggets in 2012. And also showed that he was arguably the Clippers' best or second best player. Like, people were talking mostly about Montrezl Harrell, they were talking about Lou Williams, but an argument you definitely made that Gallinari is right up there with them and a really good player on a really good team. So I think he is going to be upgraded to an 81 overall emerald. I think he's going to go +4 to 81, and a rating that he definitely deserves. Next up, we've got Myles Turner, who started off as a 79 overall last year. Myles Turner actually did not get a moments card all year, and the same with Gallinari. He didn't get a moments card either. So Myles Turner averaged only 0.6 points per game more than he did the previous year. He averaged 7.2 rebounds, which is the most in his career. However, he led the NBA in blocks with 2.7 per game, which is great. And also, he was arguably the second best player on a playoff team after Victor Oladipo. Myles Turner, without doubt, is going to be upgraded. I'm guessing 81 overall Emerald for him. The exact same rating as I gave to the exact same ratings I gave to Danilo Gallinari. Next up is his Indiana Pacers teammate, Bogdan Bogdanovich. And just like Myles Turner, he doesn't have a moments card. So Bogdan Bogdanovich kind of went under the radar this year, but he averaged 18 points per game. He was the leading scorer for the Pacers after Victor Oladipo got injured, and he was even he wasn't that far off Oladipo points wise when he was even when he was healthy. He started all 81 games, was arguably between him and Turner the second best player on a playoff team, and is still a gold. Without doubt, I think he's going up to an Emerald, but because again there's not that much hype about him, he's just another solid European player, I think he's going to go up to an 80 overall. I can't see him going up to 81. I think he's just going to go up one rating. Next up is Jusuf Nurkic, who a lot of people think that the Portland Trailblazers would have gotten to the West Conference Finals, would have gotten to the NBA Finals had he been playing against the Golden State Warriors. But Jusuf Nurkic has shown that he's one of the better centers in the NBA. Averaged 15.6 points per game for the Trailblazers. Unfortunately got injured, which was a massive reason. Actually, no, they made the Western Conference Finals. I honestly don't think they would have done much better with him, but he was a really solid player. Jusuf Nurkic is easily a top 15 center in basketball. I'm not as high on him as most people are, which is a surprise because you guys say overhype Europeans, but he was a gold last year, and there is no doubt he is at least an Emerald. I'm guessing an 83 overall Emerald for Jusuf Nurkic, which is like borderline all-star level player. I think 83 overall is the rating 2K are going to give him, because again, there is a little bit of hype about him, especially how good the Blazers were with him and without him. I think he's going to have a big year next year, and I also think 2K are going to rate him quite highly. Next up is Pascal Siakam. Siakam started off this year barely a gold and a 76 overall. Last season, he averaged 7.3 points per game. However, this year, he averaged 16.9 points per game, starting 79 of 80 games, which is crazy. And more so than anything, game one of the finals was nuts. Pascal Siakam was unbelievable. A guy who probably should have been an all-star, and a guy who, if he plays decent next year, will be an all-star. Siakam is definitely going to be upgraded, and I think all depends on the finals. I think if he has more games like game one, I can see him going up to maybe a 86 overall Sapphire, but I'm going to be kind of conservative and say he's going to go +8 to a 84 overall Sapphire. I think he's going to go from gold to Sapphire, and he's going to be a solid enough card. But yeah, definitely a big upgrade for him. Next, we've got D'Angelo Russell, who started off as an 82 overall Emerald. This season, D'Angelo Russell went from 15.5 points per game last year to 21.1 and was an all-star. This was by far D'Angelo Russell's best year in the NBA, and he led the Brooklyn Nets to the playoffs, which I don't think anyone expected coming into the season. D'Angelo Russell, without doubt, is going to be upgraded. I'm going to guess he is going to end up being the exact same rating as Pascal Siakam, even though I know obviously he was an all-star and Siakam wasn't. I just feel Siakam has been so good at times in this playoffs, especially game one of the finals, to be completely honest, that I can see him being kind of fresh in people's minds and being higher overall. But D'Angelo Russell, without doubt, is going to be a Sapphire. I'm going to guess 84 overall. Next up is a guy started off as an 87 overall, 2 ratings below Karl Anthony Towns, and honestly, a lot of people thought he was MVP for the first good bit of the season. In Paul George's career, he had never averaged more than 24 points per game. However, this season, with the OKC Thunder, averaged 28 a game. I honestly think that he would be, I'm going to guess 90 overall. He's going to be one of the many amethysts. I could say higher, I could say lower, but I think he's definitely not going to be only a Ruby after the season he had. And I also think one of the big things with Paul George is that he's not going to be even higher. I think whoever wins MVP is going to be the 91 overall. If they keep doing it the same, I think there's only going to be one of them, which is probably going to be Giannis, who I think is going to be higher rating than LeBron. But I do think Paul George definitely is going to be one of the probably 5 or 6 cards that is the amethyst tier. So anyway, that's the video. This is the NBA 2K20 upgrades. If you guys think there's any more players that are going to be upgraded? Obviously, there's going to be so many. Leave in the comments. I will do a downgrades prediction probably tomorrow, and I will probably in a couple of weeks do probably one more upgrades prediction, and I'll leave it at that. I know I kind of went overkill in previous years with these videos, so I think I'm going to just stick with doing maybe 1 to 2, max 3 of these type of videos. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.